What's up, everybody? This is Nestor, your brother in peace, love, and justice, and this is Duality of Sorts. So I was hoping you can entertain a quick conversation with me. I wanted to talk to you about something called duality. Now, if you don't know what duality is a basic human principle that says with certain situations, with all situations, there are two sides. It's almost like a coin. There's heads and there's tails. But in this case, there's good, there's bad, there's right, there's wrong. All of that in society is fine. But here's what I wanted to talk to you about, and the thing that I'm struggling with the most. Somehow, duality has permeated and informs our politics. And if you're wondering why that's a bad thing, it's because social issues, political issues, are more than just good and bad. They're so nuanced, they're so complex that there's no right and wrong. There's just all that stuff in the middle that we have to figure out together. But somehow we've bought into this notion that we operate in a zero-sum game. Like, all things are mutually exclusive, and if I support this, it means I am anti this. And that's not the case. Don't subscribe to that, because it's a fallacy, it's falsehood, it's not true. And let me give you a couple of examples of how that's gone wrong. We have Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter. We had two factions of people that come from very specific places, but all they were doing was competing with each other. I firmly support Black Lives Matter, but I also support the success of cops to go out and do what they need to do to protect and serve the communities that I live and support. So there's nothing wrong with believing in both. It doesn't make you a hypocrite. It makes you just as nuanced and complex as the issues that we're facing. Another example, gun rights and gun safety. I'm a proud gun owner, but I'm also the parent of two teenage boys, and I have family, and I live in a community that I want safe. So paramount to gun rights for me is gun safety, but I'm okay to think that I appreciate and support both, because again, we don't live in a zero-sum world, or we shouldn't. The only way for any of us to win is if we sit together and talk. And this duality of thought, this duality of idea, prevents that from happening, because if I feel strongly about something and you feel differently, then I'm immediately seeing you as the enemy, and my job is to win over you. We're never going to get anywhere with that, and it scares me. In this political climate, we have to start doing things and thinking differently. And one of the ways is to get rid of this notion that we operate in a zero-sum world. Now, I'm not suggesting that you give up your principles or your values. I'm a staunch progressive, and I have plenty of non-negotiables, one of which is equal pay. That's a non-negotiable for me. There's no conversation to be had. So what I'm asking you to do is start thinking in the gray, which is what I like to call all that rich center outside of the black and white that we seem to polarize ourselves into. Let's start working in the gray. I'm hoping you'll join me next week when we start talking about living and working in the gray and how we can start moving forward as a country, as a county, as a community. So join me for Duality of Sorts next week when we start talking about the gray. My name is Nestor. I'm your brother in peace, love, and justice. Thanks for the time.